Okay, I snipped apart and literally heard it fly all the way across a tarbus and bounce over there somewhere. I do think we have found the secret to single stage to orbit. Hello, Blue Troopers, Max and Max's models here, and we'll get into that whole sad story shortly. So the first order of business today was to clean up the unholy mess that was my workstation after finishing up with the sky crane. In the process, I found some paints that I had just recently bought, forgot to take out of the box, and didn't even realize I had. Fortunately, I haven't needed them since then, but organization, guys. I also decided that these are all the models that came off the shelf to make a room for the sky crane, so I had to rearrange my shelves and get those taken care of. And with that fun little chore done and nominal breakage, I decided that since we've been talking about all these interesting and obscure Army aircraft recently, I wonder how many of them I have kits of that I could build. Well, it turns out that where the Trojan and the A4 Skyhawk are concerned, I do have 1/72nd scale Heller T-28 and an Airfix 1/72nd scale Skyhawk that I can modify. And as I was snooping around, I realized I also have a bagged P2 Neptune and a bagged 1/48 scale Skyhawk. So I'm in pretty good shape where those are concerned. I also have that Ryan Navion. I think I'll do that one while I'm at it. Those projects will go behind the current project, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. And while we're on that, we've also been talking about regional airliners lately, so I decided to take a look at what kits I had. We talked about those the other day. I forgot to get a picture of the Dash 8 that I have with it. But those are all in the queue now, what you might call a quasi-shortlist. In my case, a shortlist being about 3 years. So I got started on the Star Trek Shuttlecraft, and I thought the first thing I'd do is simply go over all the different runner trees in the kit for you. This kit does have a nice solid bottom and an excellent decal sheet with 3 options: Einstein, Columbus, and Galileo. They look like really nice moldings. I'm not going to describe all the parts. They're pretty obvious. They're bottoms and tops and bulkheads and things like that. The characters are really nice. They're, generally speaking, 5 pieces: front, back, 2 arms, and a head. And it tells you, with the exception of Lieutenant Uhura, that you can pretty much mix and match as you like. There's a lot of internal detail, and since this has a completely independent inside and outside, both with their own walls and halls and everything, as I mentioned, I plan to make one of them like the studio internal set and then the external studio shell. And then I'll probably make the other one just as a full build-up. A lot of clear parts, which I'm leaving in the bags, and I'm holding on to the bags as a just in case. Right now, I've got all the people in one box to keep them straight. All of the major components are going on my little organizer, and the other box has the major hold parts that are too big to go in the organizer. So the first thing we do is we get started on the people, and again, I'm not really good with painting figures, so I'm going to be really detailed with these, as good as I can be, because they're not generic military figures. Everyone knows these characters, so they're going to expect to be able to recognize them. And with that said, now we go on to today's little adventure. I should point out that I put this here to keep parts from flying underneath that when they come off the table, so I may have to put some kind of guard on that too. Okay, that was unexpected. I don't see it under there, but, well, I found my missing bag of diorama material, the grass there. Well, I did not find it over there anywhere. I moved the shelves. I swept up everything all the way back over to the far corner, back around here. I even went through the boxes in case it had dropped in, bounced into one of them. And I was like, you know what, Max? I've got plenty of other arms that I can make work from some of the Tamiya figures and stuff in the same scale. It's not a big deal. So let's just get back to work. And I came back, and lo and behold, I pick up the runner tree, and there it is. Apparently what bounced over there was the little piece of sprue that was cut off of it. So, you know the old saying, you'll find it as soon as you stop looking for it. So I want to do the initial priming and painting of these characters while they're still on the runner tree. So I bob off the parts of the runner tree that I don't need and to create better access. And you know what? That's not going to work. I have to put them together before I paint them. Okay, the fit is excellent. It says combine heads and arms as desired. At first I was worried how I was going to keep everything straight. I was going to have to label them, but of course the two skinnier ones will have to be Spock and McCoy. The rest of them are probably going to be pretty similar, but we'll see when I get there. Okay, time to run. Talk to you later. Ciao. Okay, guys, that's where we're at right now. Have to run off and do things. You take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.